Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing out there? This is Thomas Taylor III. Just want to share a few words with you this morning, a little inspiration. This morning I want to talk to you guys about something I call the verdict. And bear with me, you guys. I hope I kind of can get through it. On March 7th, 2005, a verdict was rendered on myself and my family. And that verdict was actually changing our last name. Again, I talked about this before, but changing our last name from Thomas Searles to Thomas Taylor, you guys. Now, it's very difficult because here it is, I'm actually in a position to change my name to a man's name who never raised me, ladies and gentlemen. And that was not easy, right? That was not easy. But what I realized was along this road that we call life, when it comes to Thomas Searles, I had a stop sign there, ladies and gentlemen. I was just existing. I wasn't living, right? So on that day, when that verdict was rendered, I realized that I removed the stop sign. Why? Because on this highway we call life, we'll see various signs. We'll see slippery when wet. We'll see stop signs. And we'll see yield signs, right? That's just along this highway. But I didn't realize that I had a stop sign when it came to Searles. So on that day, March 7, 2005, when the verdict was rendered for me to actually change my name to Thomas Taylor III, which in actuality was my birth name, ladies and gentlemen, I put a yield sign there. Why? Because I proceeded with caution. And I continued to live, not knowing that I wasn't living before, that I was existing. But it was bothering me so much so that I had to do it. Why? Because I had a son, I had a daughter that was coming behind me that they didn't deserve. They did not deserve the name that had nothing to do with them and carry on the quote unquote legacy of somebody else. It was not easy. It was difficult. So I ask you, the question is, what verdict has been rendered in your life, whether it's been a positive verdict or a negative verdict? But what verdict has been rendered, in your life where you made a conscious decision to put a stop sign there and you stopped living? Why? Because that verdict was so traumatic. Well, guess what? What happens if that verdict wasn't designed to stop you? Maybe it was designed to challenge you, but you put a stop sign there, ladies and gentlemen. So I challenge you, right, to remove the stop sign. And the question is, do you have enough confidence? Do you have enough belief to realize that maybe, just maybe, I'm going to put a yield sign there? And I'm going to proceed with caution. Why? Because on this highway that we call life, just maybe there's other people that I may encounter, that I may see, that I may meet, that actually dealt with the same situation that I dealt with. So, for example, you're driving on the highway and there's an exit sign. So typically if there's a car in front of you, you kind of brake a little bit. You allow that car to get off the exit. Well, if you're in that same lane, guess what? There's other cars that come on an on-ramp to actually merge into that same lane. But you're on the highway, so you keep moving. But what happens if you decided, and you don't realize this though, but that stop sign actually is an exit sign. So you put a stop sign there because it was a verdict that was rendered, and you got off the exit called life. And now you're just existing. Not realizing that when you got off and now you felt good about yourself when you realized, okay, I want to get back on this highway called life. And there was no entrance to get on the highway that you got off because you made a decision to put a stop sign because it was a verdict that was rendered and you just got off. But nobody was around to tell you that, hey, guess what? There's no entrance when you get off this exit. So now you just exist, ladies and gentlemen. So for me, changing my name, it was so traumatic, and I didn't realize that I had a stop sign, that I wasn't living. I was just existing. Why? Because when I changed my name, things happened, you guys. My children started to move differently. They started to get more confidence. I'm on Facebook Live right now talking to you and trying to inspire you and inspiring you to move. Why? Because that's something that I had to go through myself. Because through that, I created a nonprofit organization called Grown Up Without a Father. Why? Not just for me, to help millions of people dealing with the same situation. That's that yield sign, ladies and gentlemen. I proceeded with caution, right? So again, just think about what verdict has been rendered and you stop living. I had a conversation with somebody the other day and they said, Thomas, you don't look like somebody that grew up without a father. I said, yeah, you know why? Because I don't wear it, right? Sometimes in life, you guys, things that happen to us, we wear it like a badge of honor. But guess what? It's something that happened to us. It's not who we are. So growing up without a father was something that I experienced. And it still is painful. Had a conversation with some of my partners the other day, just kind of going through some excerpts in my book, you guys. And the emotions just took over, right? And I was just crying and crying because what was happening was I had to relive those situations and challenges of the past, you guys. And it wasn't easy. It was difficult. So I come here to you today and talk to you about not wearing those things that happened to us, right? But put a yield sign there and proceed with caution and keep moving. Keep functioning. Why? Because there's other people around you that may have experienced the same thing. They may need to hear an encouraging word. They may need to hear, hey, guess what? Hey, I understand, but you know what? You can do it. You know why you can do it? Because I was able to get through it, right? So sometimes we live our lives not realizing that there's people around us that actually experience the same thing. But when that traumatic situation happens to us, ladies and gentlemen, we just automatically, arbitrarily think that we're the only ones that's actually physically going through it. But we're not, right? So realize and understand that the verdicts that come down in our lives, try not to put a stop sign, you guys, and just stop living. And if you do, realize it and try to remove that stop sign and just put a yield sign. And what does yield mean? It don't mean stop. It means proceed with caution. Kind of look both ways, but keep going, you guys. This is Thomas Tiller III, you guys. Go out there and make it a great day. Next Saturday on the 27th, I'm involved in a Disruptors Conference. I think my time slot is around 10 o'clock. More information to come. I actually post that information on my Facebook. So you guys, do not allow verdicts that happen in our lives, good or bad, to stop you because you're more than the verdict that was rendered. Make it a great day.